Welcome viewers to today's episode. So in today's episode we're going to look at a special function which is one of the what if analysis function. So these functions are used to solve questions that ask the question that what if this happens, what would be the result? So one of such a function is known as the goal-seek function in Excel. So to have a better understanding on how to use this function, let us make some assumption about the business case that we're dealing with. Then at the end of the day, we want to find what will be the required units of the products that we need to sell for us to arrive at a given profit. So to answer such kind of a question, we use the goal-seek function. So let us assume that I'm dealing with a chicken land where I lay chickens and sell them to the market. So let us say per month I'm selling 200 chickens per month because I have a number of chicken lines that I keep in a bunch of 200 such a way that at the end of every month I would sell about 200. Then what is the unit price in the market? So let us assume that I'm selling each chicken at a wholesale price of 105 kwacha. Then what is the cost for me to raise one chicken? So that's the variable unit cost. So let us say this is 75 kwacha. Then what is the fixed cost? The cost that I incur on a monthly basis to maintain the chicken line without or with, or whether I keep 100 chickens or 50 chickens. I will need to pay for power, I need water, I also need fuel to move around and buy stuff. So let us say I incur 7,500 kwacha per month. Then I have all the necessary information that I need for me to build a simplified financial statement. So now based on this information, how much revenue would I make per year? So the revenue that I would make is, it will be the number of units, which is 200 per month, multiplied by 12 months, then multiplied by the price of every chicken, which is this one. Then I'll get the total revenue that I would make in a given year. Remember, 200 multiplied by 12 will give me the total chickens that I would sell at the end of the year. Then I multiply by the price of every chicken, then I get the total revenue, which will be 252,000 kwacha. Then what cost would I incur per chicken, then multiplied by the total number of chickens that I would sell in a year, then I'll get the total variable cost. So it will be 200 chickens multiplied by the cost of keeping one chicken, then multiplied by the 12 months. Then I have the cost of 180. Then the difference between the revenue that I generate from selling the chickens and the cost I incur to keep all those chickens. So the variable cost, you subtract it from the total revenue. What we end up with is a gross profit. So what we have is 252 minus 118. I'm going to have 72,000 kwacha. So that's my gross profit. That's the profit that I generate for selling the chicken without taking into account of the cost that I need to incur to run the chicken line, whether they are 50, whether they are 100. Those are fixed costs. So those are the costs that do not vary with the number of chicken or what you produce. So it will be 7,500 multiplied by 12 months. Then I'm going to incur 90,000. So to find the profit, it will be the gross profit minus 90,000. Because remember, in this gross profit, is the difference between the total revenue and the variable cost, or the cost of production. So another way to find the profit, I would have just said 250,000 kwacha minus the cost of producing, which is the variable cost, 180, then minus the fixed cost. I'm going to end up with 180. So at the end of the day, I'm making a loss. So now the question is, what units or how many chickens do I need to keep per month for me to break even? That's where now the go-seek function becomes important. So what you do is, I'll come to this, the profit value, or the cell which contains the profit. Then I'm going to go to the data tab. Then I'll come under what if option, which is at the far right and this side on top. So I click there, then I look for go-seek. So it's asking me to set a cell. So what cell am I setting? Is the same one that I've selected, which is the profit cell. So a cell that contains profit. Then I want it to be equal to 0 so that I just break even. What am I changing? So what value should I change so that I arrive at the required or the desired profit? So I'm going to change the number of chickens that I sell, which is the units. So that one is one that I want to change. Once you do that, then you press OK. You will notice that a simulation has been done. Then you notice that this is telling us that we need to be selling 250 chickens per month for us to break even, such that we should be able to raise 315,000 kwacha. Then the cost of production or variable cost will increase to 250 in such a way that we'll be able to just generate gross profit, which is 90,000 kwacha, for us to cover every cost. So this is how you use the go-seek function. So let us say my target, in this case I reset my target is, let us say I want to make a profit of 100,000 at the end of the year. Again, I'll follow the same process. I'll go to data, then after data I go to what if analysis, which is this one, then go-seek. Then I'm going to set the same cell, which is a profit cell. Then I want it to be 100,000 kwacha. So if at the end of the year I want to be making the profit of 100,000 kwacha, how many units of chicken should I be selling per month? Then I'll let this one change, which is the units sold per month. Then I will press OK. Once I press OK, you notice that for me to make a profit of 100,000 kwacha per year, I will need to be selling 528 chickens per month. In that way, I'll be assured of making the profit of 100,000 kwacha. So this is how you play with this function to optimize or find ways in which you can achieve a certain desired output. So thank you for joining me in this episode. Please join me in another episode as we look at another interesting scenario when you are using Excel.